philanthropy for me has always been important.
Yeah.
And I also think about entrepreneurship. You are literally creating jobs.
Yeah.
And you're creating opportunity for people. And you're feeding those families, not for a day, not for a week, but for years to come, because you're giving them that opportunity. So I feel like entrepreneurs, they're the ultimate philanthropists.
Yep. Welcome back to Case Studies. I'm with my friend, Shauna Smith. You spoke at the UVU Entrepreneurship event last night. So we saw each other 2 nights in a row.
2 in a row.
Don't see each other much. So it's like, it's fun to reconnect. And I did one of these with Andrew. It was probably, 6 months ago?
Uh-huh.
And it was so fun for me. You know, I've known Andrew forever. We're an investor in Savory.
Yes.
And so,
and thank you.
You know, we always cheering for you guys. And, you know, but it was so fun to hear his story. And I think what was so profound for me in his story was how much of a boss you are. Like you just decided, I'm going to go do these restaurants that I love. You found a concept that you just loved and you just said, I think this has potential.
Yeah.
And you guys went and built what, 60
of those.
50 of those Kneaders.
Yep, Kneaders.
That ultimately ended up kind of being the foundation of this unique expertise in food and beverage, which is a hard business.
Oh, yes, it is not for the faint of heart.
And over the last 3 years, it's been insanely hard.
Yeah.
Like with labor and food costs and inflation and just hard business. And you guys have just found a way to do it and do it really, really well. And so so there's so many places I want to go with this, but first off, just really excited to chat with you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm honored to be here. Only the best people get to sit in this seat. So
we have had
it's an honor.
Phenomenal people.
Yes.
We've had phenomenal women.
Yes.
And my wife was the one that said, you have to get Shauna. So
I'm a big fan of that, Chelsea.
I'm a big fan of Chelsea too.
Oh yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
She's so great. And I feel so lucky that I get to rub shoulders with her more and more these
days. And how
days.
fun that you guys are jamming on a bunch of stuff and meaningful stuff.
Yeah. Yes. It's been really fun to
get to know her. Give me the state of the union of the Smith family right now.
The Smith family.
When I think of you and Andrew, you guys are power couple. You guys beautiful people. You always have the best energy. You always have this awesome stuff going on. But then also you guys have really phenomenal kids. You guys have found a way to go create a really awesome family environment.
Yeah.
So give me 2026 March. What does it look like for the Smith family?
Well, I am crazy about those kids and Andrew. I feel so lucky. I mean, my prayers every morning are my gratitude for my family. I feel beyond blessed where we are today. So right now, Andrew is currently in Boston. He's fundraising. We're in the middle of a fundraise. And so when you're in the middle of fundraise, it's you drop everything for these meetings. And we all kind of know this is our job.
Time.
This is what we do.
It's game time.
And so we're kind of in that lockdown mode. But that's Andrew. And we're healthy. Andrew just rounded 50. I'm pushing 50. And so we're at that age where we're starting to feel the effects of our age. And we're very grateful for our health, and we're trying to take better care of our bodies. But we have our 2 boys, Christian and Tobin. And Christian is 25, almost 26. He's married to a darling girl, Taylor. They live in Lehigh. They just bought a new house.
What?
And
at 25.
Yeah. Yes.
That's becoming more and more rare.
So rare. So rare. He's doing so well. And it's funny because he doesn't know that he's doing as well as he is.
He has these examples of
it's true. He's
hard.
got people around him. He's got parents who are kind of blazing that trail.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Yes, so he's doing really good though. He is still a student because he wants to work and go to school at the same time. So he's working full time. He's a student, and then he's also an entrepreneur. He just started he built his own app that is actually a journaling app using AI. So he's doing that, selling that, fundraising for that. So he is definitely learning the ropes on that.
Yeah.
So happily married, and we're so grateful. I prayed for years to have daughters who liked us.
Yeah.
And luckily Taylor does. She
That's amazing.
is wonderful, and we love her, and I think she loves us. So
Fits in the family.
That's good. She does.
Yeah.
She fits. It's so great, and it's just been a fun addition.
I think about that with my, like, I love my in-laws. Like, Chelsea's parents are so phenomenal. They've been so good to us from the day we got married. And I think about that, I'm like, a lot of people don't have good in-laws, like both ways, like either son-in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law to, Chelsea's parents. And yeah, when I think about gratitude, that's one of the things that I'm super grateful for is we've had that for 20 plus years.
Well, I've always known I needed to be a good mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And I've told my sons, both of them, when you get married, I'm always going to side with your wife, just so you know, because it is, they need that support. I need this relationship with all of you and with our future grandchildren. No grandchildren in the picture at this time, but there's just those things you have to think about. And sometimes you have to set your pride aside and just focus on the relationship. Yeah. So that's really important to us. So that's Christian.
Yep. So that's Christian.
And then Tobin is on a mission. He's 20. He is on a mission in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
And he's a football player, right?
Football player for Skyridge. Yep. Yes, football has been a huge part of our lives for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. In fact, I've asked him, do you want to pursue it? Because he's a good player, right? He's really good. Yeah. And he had some, I would say, some conversations before he left. And he was so resolute about a mission and just wanting to focus on that it wasn't even a distraction. He was just like, I'll figure it out when we get home. Here he is 4 months out. He comes home at the end of June, beginning of July.
Soon.
Yeah. Apparently his flight leaves July 1st and he arrives July 2nd. That's what we're being told.
Wow, so that's so exciting.
So now I've made a paper chain.
Yeah.
It's like
just like count down the days.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're very excited. So missions are amazing. It's kind of a little bit heartbreaking for moms.
Yeah. Because
it's a weird thing. You send your child out for 2 years, but when you see their development,
the growth,
yeah. There is not a way I could have provided any opportunity that would have provided that for him.
Yeah.
So that is amazing. And he comes home. So then we'll all be a family again. We're going to take the summer and have a good time together. And Andrew and I actually tomorrow have been married for 27 years.
It's crazy.
So it's been a fun 27 years. He's still my favorite person.
Yeah.
He's my best friend. I love being able to not only have Andrew as a life partner, but also as a business partner.
Which is so hard to do. Like, and that was combo that I had with him.
Yeah.
It's like, when you already are partners on the home front, sometimes things get more complicated when you bring in the work dynamic because there's just, work gets hard. That there's hard times. There's, and so, but you guys, it seems from the outside have been able to navigate that in a way that has made the relationship better. That you guys actually that's just a part of what you guys do.
It's part of who we are. And it's funny because sometimes we'll be sitting at family dinner and work comes up and, the conversation goes towards work.
Yeah.
And I would say in most families, you might get deep eye rolls or any of that. But all of these years, what we've done is we've included
that's just the
family
just part of
in all of
your
it.
life. Yeah. Which I think is so rad.
They just know about the business. They ask about the business. Yeah. They're learning from what they're seeing and hearing. And so they've been a part of it. And I think that's been I would say it's been a focus of ours.
Is to include
to be able to
family business.
Them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But also, Andrew and I, there's a lot of, we divide and conquer. We are rarely in the same room.
Way different skill sets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
So how would you describe your skill set? And how would you describe Andrew's skill set?
Let's see. Well, Andrew is a phenomenal visionary. He is so good at painting the picture of the future and also leading out on the future. I would say he sets the vision and I execute the vision.
So you're the operator, putting the processes and systems in place to go drive results.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm the person who I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I don't mind being the person who is, I mean, Andrew doesn't either, by the way. Both of us, neither of us ever would ask anything of our team that we're not willing to do ourselves.
Yeah.
But I would say he's definitely the one that is doing the fundraising. He is big picture.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely the late nights putting in the time with the team, shoulder to shoulder, working with them, processes, systems, driving results, having hard conversations. We both have to have hard conversations at different times.
Of course.
But yeah, that's a big part of how we've divided and conquered over the years for sure.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your entrepreneurial journey. Like talked to Andrew a lot about it, but where did you grow up? Where was home originally?
Grew up in Alabama.
Okay. Alabama, Southern girl. How rad is that?
Yes.
So are you like Roll Tide? Or are you like
Auburn
are you
Eagles?
Auburn?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, so growing up, it was very hard. So you could always talk to anyone about there's a few topics in the South that you can talk to anyone about, and it's food, it's football, and it's Jesus.
Of course.
You can strike up a conversation and talk for hours.
Which is kind of all I want to talk about ever. Like if I just never talked about anything else but those three things, I'd actually be really,
I know. You could really talk about those things for days and days. So yeah, it was always a topic of conversation, especially, I just remember Thanksgiving dinners. We had some of the family that were the Roll Tide and the Auburn Eagles.
War Eagle, yeah.
So there was that conversation, and then we had the Florida Gators and the Seminoles.
Well, so where's the Gators and Seminoles coming in?
Well, because we have some family who is, I mean, I was technically born in like the Jacksonville area, in this little teeny town called Palatka, Florida, and so we have a lot of family in Florida still there, and then some in Alabama.
You're bringing in all of it.
Yeah,
it's
all
amazing.
of it, and it was just there's a lot of football talk.
Okay, so grow up Alabama. How many siblings?
There's 5. Well, let me tell you, 5 siblings of the original parents.
Okay.
But I have this long knitted family together of the yours, mine, and ours.
So talk to me about that.
So my parents, we grew up in the South, born and raised in the South. And it was I feel like I lived such a charmed life. I love having roots in the South and hospitality. It is in my DNA, which is, I think, part of why I am where I am today.
Love food and beverages, like
serving people through food. Really, that is just, it's part of who I am. And I remember growing up, we never ate meals alone. There was always someone else at the dinner table, or we were all gathered, or we waited until everyone came together. There was never a moment where it's like, you just eat.
You're not eating to eat. Like it's a part of the social fabric.
It was a shared experience. That was the whole point of eating.
How beautiful is that, though? You know what I mean? Like
it was so good.
We try to create that even to this day with our family.
Yeah.
Because we're so busy. And so we try to go create those times.
Yes.
Where you can break bread or you can like be together. Because that's, food is such a fun industry because so many of our like best memories in life revolve around good food.
Food. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone has them.
Good friends and good food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when I lived a charmed life, members of the church down south, which I was the only person in my whole school that was
the only one
of the church.
Yeah.
I have a funny story about when I moved out to Utah. I'll share that later. But so members of the church grew up going to church, and everyone around you are churchgoers. That we talk about Jesus on the regular. Yeah. So when I was 14-ish, my mom decided that being a mom wasn't exactly what she wanted to do. So she decided to leave and not do that. So my dad became a single parent overnight, and not just a single parent, but I like the sole parent, and I was the oldest child, and so. And not that there was ever like this conversation, but it immediately turned into, hey, Shauna, can you help with this? Hey, can you do that? Can you grab this for your sister? And it just kind of started that way.
Yeah.
And kind of filled in that mom role.
Yeah.
And in the early 90s, this was like 91 when all of that went down. That was not normal. And so there was some gossip, and it was kind of frowned upon. And my dad was like, okay, I think we're going to need a fresh start. So he decided to move our family out to Utah. So that was probably 93 that we moved out here to Utah.
Yeah.
And I went to Pleasant Grove High School. and graduated from Pleasant Grove, which I have a special spot in my heart for that school. It's not easy moving high school age.
Like I've got 2 teenage kids right now, and like one, me and Chelsea have always been solid.
Yes.
But I think about like Chelsea bouncing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'd be a wreck. Like
yes.
I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to say I'm not a good parent. Chelsea just parents, like Chelsea bosses our house. Like she runs the house.
Yes.
Her not being there, like there'd be a like massive gap.
Oh.
And I think it'd be super overwhelming, as a husband, and so I can only imagine what your dad was going through. But then all your kids and brothers and sisters, it's like that's hard.
Yes.
And then relocating's hard. So like all those things are like
all of it.
Super tough.
It was just, and it kind of just was like, this is life, I guess. This is what you do. And I look back, I give my dad a lot of credit and grace. He did a good job holding our family together, never spoke ill of my mom. He would say to me, "You're half your mom. I will never speak ill of your mom because you are 50% your mom." And I still to this day.
That's like crazy noble.
I know. It's so tender. Anyway, I will not get emotional.
I'd be like, I don't know if I could do that. Like if Chelsea bounced on me, I'd be like, hey, you quit on me. Like we signed up for this together. Like
I know.
You know what I mean? Like so like it
would be hard.
Yeah, I don't have full dynamics of the situation, but it sounds like your dad's a saint.
He's a good man, for sure. Not perfect. None of us are.
And your mom did like
and my mom had her reasons. And I mean, there's more to it. Lots of years later, definitely reconnected and made sure that there was a moment where I decided that I wanted to be the daughter that I would be proud of.
Yeah.
And so I forced myself to make sure that we reach out regularly, that we go visit regularly. And anyway, that's a fast forward moment.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. So we moved out to Utah, and my dad remarried multiple times, and my mom did too. And in there, we had some step siblings, we had some half siblings. And so now we have this knitted together family, and not all of them are technically siblings. But if you were to come to our house for Thanksgiving dinner, there would be steps and halves and fulls.
It's amazing.
It's a little bit of everything. But that's also kind of how I grew up.
Yeah.
Where I remember sitting at
just
Thanksgiving
kind of raised
dinner.
By the community,
and being like, who's this person sitting next to me, Dad? And he's like, someone I met at work. He didn't have anywhere to go for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just how we grew up. But yeah, that's the family dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's we joke that we put the fun in dysfunctional.
Yeah. So you were the oldest though.
The oldest.
How did your like younger siblings handle it?
I think that in the beginning, everyone handled it pretty well. And like I said, it just becomes your new normal. And my dad tried very hard to just be like, this is normal. And this is not going to be, I remember him vividly saying to us at different times and at different turning points in our teenage and young adult years, this will not be a crutch for you. Do not let this be a crutch. And he never let us use it as an excuse.
He just wouldn't let you be victimized.
No, we were never to be victims. It was, we were going to keep going and move forward and just be as normal as possible, I guess. So that's what he tried to provide. And
that's a complicated. Yeah, that's complicated.
It is.
Because it's one thing to say, like, I'm going to go like square up my shoulders and be strong.
Yeah.
But you're still like a kid. You know what I mean? You still got your feelings. And,
And for years, when I would talk about my mom and that situation, I would turn into that young teenager and
you go back.
I would kind of start sobbing, and this trauma would set in. And
it was really hard.
It was so hard.
Yeah.
It was so hard because there were moments where, you're getting ready for your first prom, and who helps you with your hair? It's sad. So it's just those little things.
I had a kid that I did a podcast with, a guy named Davey Adams, and different than what you're describing.
Yeah.
But it kind of reminds me of the same thing. Davey, he had, I think it was 5 kids. 4 or 5 kids, mid-30s, and his wife has a medical issue, goes into the hospital and never comes out.
Oh,
And kind of that same thing, you know, you go in there and it's like, you know, you have no like you go to the
that was
hospital,
not the
you go to the
outcome.
hospital and you're going to come out, you know,
Yeah.
and so now you got to go start life.
Yeah.
And he gave this story about him just kind of being completely lost
Yeah.
and having the spouses of his neighbors come over and do his daughter's hair
Yeah.
because he just didn't know
Don't
how
know. Yeah.
and kind of like couldn't function. He's kind of paralyzed. And so, you know, when you
Yeah.
bring that up with the emotion, it's just so real that it's like that stuff. Yeah, sometimes life isn't fair. You know,
No.
that doesn't feel super fair to you
No.
at that age. But also, yeah, life does go on. You know, you gotta
It
like,
does. And you have to keep going. And what I've learned in going through that myself and hearing stories like his, everyone has something
yeah,
that they have suffered through and also that has shaped them. And I'm finally like I said, now in the pushing 50 age,
yeah.
I'm finally at that place where I can say, I'm so grateful,
When did
even
you?
for those
How long? How long
experiences.
did it take you?
Oh, I would say I was in my 40s before I
Yeah,
could be
it,
grateful.
it's taken a long time.
Now, was there healing that took place over the years? Sure. But as far as this place of gratitude
How
for
long did
it,
it take you to forgive?
20 plus years.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that I forgave, but then, you would still have these moments where you felt the anger stirring and you're
Course.
like, oh no,
I
I
don't know how
have
you
lots to
can't.
work
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
Yeah.
That you can forgive is actually like really great.
Mhm.
Just because
Well,
life's too short. You know, life's too short
yeah.
to carry it, but that doesn't make it easier.
It became that it was hurting me more than it was
Course.
hurting anyone else.
Yeah,
And that was the moment where I gathered my sisters and said, I can't do this alone, but I don't want to do it like this anymore. I want to become the daughter that I would be proud of. And so we're going to go see our mom and we're going to reach out and we're going,
Anybody fight you on it?
no, no.
They all got on board
Yeah. And they were a little younger than I was. And so they had less
because you're what, 15?
trauma, 14, 15.
That's a hard
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
That's kind of the sweet spot of the hard age.
I saw it all. I knew it all and
Yeah,
knew more than probably any normal 14, 15-year-old should know.
yeah,
And so that was, I think because I knew as much as I did, that's why it was a little harder.
yeah.
And of course, my dad was very good at making sure that he shielded as much as he could from the kids.
Yeah, but then I think the second piece that you described is like by default, you end up carrying a heavier load.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
you just end up having to do things that probably normal 15-year-olds aren't doing.
They're not.
And the moving thing's got to be tough too, because you're like, this is my roots, this is my family,
Yeah.
this is my school, this is all those things, and then to go start fresh.
Everything. I didn't want to move, but
Yeah.
that was where everyone was so kind.
Yeah,
And I made friends fast. And I had no expectation. In fact, I thought it would be so hard to make friends. And one thing that was that helped me get in a lot of doors was that Southern accent.
they just
Everyone wanted to
when you're
talk.
beautiful and like yeah, like
It was so funny because they would say to me, "Say y'all come back now, you hear?" And I was like, "Well, we don't say that, but I'll say whatever you want."
see Chelsea's 100% Texas. She is y'all's and
Yes,
it's like yeah, there's something about the South. The South is magic.
it has some charm. That's
I love
for
the
sure.
South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So made fast friends, and I do remember this moment where I was standing at my locker, and there were some girls next to my locker, and they were talking about going to Young Women's, and I closed my locker, and I was like, "Wait a minute, you know what Young Women's is?" Because in the South,
No one.
no,
Yeah.
I'm the only one in my
Yeah.
whole school, and they were like, "Well, yeah, of course we do." It was just this whole new culture that I
Yeah.
walked into, and
But you thrived in it.
I loved it.
What a
Yes.
gift.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, it
that could have
was.
gone way different.
Oh, yes. Oh, it can. And
Yeah.
I've heard.
Probably does most of the
I've
time.
heard a lot
Yeah.
of stories that it doesn't go as well. And
Yeah.
so that I'm very grateful for that experience. And
So plugged into Utah County.
yes,
Actually had a great experience.
loved it.
Dad ends up marrying a couple more times.
Yep,
So
yep.
Dad's got his own issues.
He's now on like his 4th or 5th marriage at this point. And I'm just like, you know what, Dad? We just want you happy.
Go get it, Dad.
That's what we want. Yep. Yep.
So family, Utah County.
Mhm.
Where do you go from there?
Well, so at that point, I had graduated. I was almost 19, and my dad married. He was getting married to, I would say, the one that kind of stuck for a while. They were married for 20 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
And her name is Nancy.
Yeah.
And she came in and kind of was able to take the role of mom and fill that. And so I was able to move
Step out of
out,
it.
go to
Yeah.
college, and feel very free and light.
Did you say most of your siblings kind of saw her as mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they looked to her as that at
Yeah.
that time. So yeah,
Did she have kids?
she had kids.
She had kids.
Yeah, 3 sons.
Okay, so it turned into like Brady Bunch type.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
But you were kind of on the way out at that point.
I was on the way out.
Yeah.
And it helped me, I think, actually let go and leave. So went to college and moved to Provo. I was going to UVSC at the time. And while I was living in this Provo apartment, what was it? The Glenwood.
Mhm.
I had to think of it. While I was there, there was a guy who asked me out on a date. And I was like, it was kind of one of those like, oh, do I want to go? And, wasn't jumping at the yes, but I was like, you bet, I'll go. Let's go. What's the worst that can happen? And if it's not a good time, it's a great story. So went on this date. Well, while I'm at this group date, it's with a bunch of missionary companions. They had all gotten home from their missions and they were all gathering and kind of a group date.
Yeah.
On this mission. Or on this little reunion, they're talking about this mission companion that they have, Andrew Smith. They're telling all these stories, and I'm like, Andrew Smith sounds like a good time. I can't wait to meet
Legendary
this guy.
stories. Yeah.
He sounds so fun. Anyway, in walks someone. The room erupts. It's like the party has arrived. Sure enough, that is Andrew Smith. While he walks in, though, he's got a beautiful girl on his arm who also speaks Spanish with all of them because they're bantering in Spanish. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Andrew Smith's married, so never mind, but it'll be fun to get to know him. So we got to know each other that night, and we would see each other kind of around town and around campus, and just ran into each other here and there. I was very attracted to this Andrew Smith person, but I thought he is taken. So he moves in with this person who asked me out on the date originally in the same apartment complex, and they're roommates. And there was one night that I just got my 5 seconds of courage and I called over there. And this was, the wall phones, like these are not cell phones.
Yeah.
This is like wall phone days. And I call over there and Andrew answers. And he's like, oh, let me get Joey for you. That's the guy from the date. And I was like, no, I'm calling for you.
What?
I was just
Let's
calling.
go.
I'm just calling to see when you're going to ask me out. And he was, I feel like he was at a loss for words.
You like caught him.
Yeah.
You caught him flat-footed.
I don't think he was expecting that at all. And so then he was just like, well, I'm studying for a final right now, but what are you doing later tonight? And anyway, so we went out that night and
was it like sparks from day one, or was it like
yes?
So it was like right off the bat. It's like
Well, for me, it was like
you were already smitten.
Yes,
you were already in.
Yes.
How great is that?
It was just immediate. So started dating, and there was not anyone else even on my radar from that point.
You were all in.
He was the one.
That's so great.
Yeah,
that's the best.
Yes, and still is. He's the best.
That is so great. That fires me up. Good for Andrew. There's nothing better than to have like somebody who loves you.
I know. It was so, yeah. It's funny how like even our first kiss, I was like, is this what a first kiss is supposed to be like? Because this is magic. It was just, everything felt like this was right.
So great.
So Andrew and I meant to be. And then let's see, it was like 5-6 months later. I'm still a student. He's working and going to school. And I go into the hospital for a little procedure. and I'm laying flat on the operation table. And the doctor comes in and he's visiting with me, and he says to me, well, on account of you being pregnant, we're not going to be able to do the procedure today. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not pregnant. You must have the wrong person. And he's like, oh, Shauna Smith, right? And I was like, yeah, that's me. And he was like, oh, no, you're pregnant, my dear.
What?
And I was like, I'm just laying flat, by the way. I'm laying there like, wait, what? How is this happening? And I start crying and tears are streaming this way. And the nurse comes over and she's like, oh, my darling, it's going to be great. This is going to be wonderful. And then she's like, oh, honey, are you not married? And I was like, no, I am married. And she was like, oh, then it's going to be wonderful. So anyway, that is how
that's how you found out.
That's how we found out that we were expecting our first son.
That's so great.
He was a surprise.
He just like spilled the beans, huh?
Yes.
Doctor.
It was amazing. And it was so funny because he didn't know that I didn't know. And so, of course, he's just like, yeah, on account of you being pregnant. Anyway.
So how's that go down with Andrew? You just call him up, say, hey, guess what? It's game
He was
time.
in the waiting room and they pulled him in because they realized what was going on.
Like I screwed that up.
So they pulled him in and let him know. And so they start rolling me in.
How do you react? He show up right?
Oh, yes. We're connecting eyes. And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, well, this is exciting. We're
cool.
expecting our first. And what a blessing that was, because our second, it took us, we had 5 years of infertility to get him here.
Yeah.
And so we've got these 2 miracle sons.
Infertility is tough.
It is so tough. Tough.
Did you guys go through all this stuff?
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of it. And then it's funny because we went through to a point where we were filling out adoption papers.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I find out we're expecting. And so it was like, okay, pause on adoption papers.
Yeah.
Let's pursue this. And you become a little obsessive, a little crazy about like the temperature of the shower can't be too hot. I can't eat this or that before or after midnight.
You guys been trying for so long.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you just want to protect that pregnancy, that baby.
Yeah.
And I remember Tobin was a little colicky there in the beginning.
You're freaking out.
And I remember like 2 a.m. rocking him, and I'm saying to him, I prayed for you for years. There is nothing you can do that would upset me. I will stay up all night, every night. I don't care.
You're just soaking it up.
Yes, just loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, we had that same experience. We had 3 we had our first 2 kind of when we wanted to, and then had a 4-year gap, and then we just couldn't have kids anymore. And so we went through that whole process of IVF, and
Yes.
And it was so hard. Like it was a kind of dark times, because you have like all these like artificial hormones and all the stuff that you're kind of pumping into your body, and then there's just kind of the ups and the downs of the excitement of it could work, and then it's not working, and we kind of hit this inflection point where it's like we either got to be completely good. Or we got to adopt, but we can't be in this space because you're not happy, and it's hard.
Yeah. It feels like a fever dream when you think about it. You're like, did that actually happen?
It was hard
because you don't even remember yourself.
Yeah,
because it's hard. It's the hormones make it so that you are not you.
I think it was that. Yeah, Chelsea's like a generally like crazy optimistic.
Yes.
Ball of light, and run into situations where she's kind of pessimistic and negative. And I was like, ooh, this isn't my wife. No. And I don't think it was. I think it was like, you just go pump yourself full of
all of that,
all the stuff you need to get pregnant.
Yes. Understood.
Well, so you guys went through that, had the 2 kids.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the entrepreneur. Andrew talked about his stuff, and he kind of serial entrepreneur, like literally like starting to do stuff from the day he got home his mission. And I was blown away by like the depth of how many different ventures, everything from tech to all these different things. Like he was doing it for a long time and doing it at a really high level.
Yes. I remember him calling me so he worked at, the jewelry place, Sierra West, selling rings to newlyweds or newly engaged. And I remember him calling me saying, I want to make the jump. I want to do this startup with this buddy of mine and I want to do this thing. And I remember being like, okay, absolutely. Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You just believed in him.
Yeah. It wasn't even, for me, it wasn't even a question. It was, I knew Andrew was determined. I knew that he was smart and that he would figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you guys do that for a long time.
Yes.
And like some big wins, some losses, kind of that whole entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, yeah. The ups and the downs of entrepreneurship.
Yeah. What he described to me was, when was it when you just kind of decided? Like you kind of just said, I'm doing this. Like I'm like, what was going on in life that one had something was calling to you to like go do it? And then two, like obviously you guys had like a, dynamic enough relationship that was just like not not normal or whatever it is.
Yeah. It was kind of out of the blue. Yeah. I mean, it really was. But I am a very content person, and I was so content and love that I got to be a stay-at-home mom all of those years. So I loved that whole journey and being part of my boy's life. And there was something that I knew I had more to give. I wanted to do both.
Yeah.
And it was still, by the way, at a time when, the lunching ladies and the stay-at-home moms, that's what you did.
Yeah.
And so this was not like, I had no one else who was doing it.
You didn't have mentors. You didn't have examples.
No, I wasn't looking at someone saying, I want to do that.
Yep.
There was something that just started
calling
within
to
me.
You.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still don't even know how to describe it, but it was that I wanted to do this thing.
You were how old?
Oh, at that time, let's see, I was 30.
Okay.
29, 30 probably. And that's where we had just moved to this new area of town in Highland. We had one grocery store and a Subway. And I thought, surely if I want a good bakery in my neighborhood, then everyone else does.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of anything better than Kneaders Bakery. And that was my favorite at the time.
That was one you loved.
That was the one I loved.
Yeah.
Andrew and I loved going there. It was our favorite place, but it was a 30-minute drive to get to the nearest one.
Provo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was one of those like, how do we bring this into our own neighborhood? And so I guess, I mean, truthfully, this all came to be because I was hungry. It's
amazing.
I just wanted good food. And so
I just wanted some bread.
Yeah. I just wanted some brownies.
Soup. Yeah.
Some easy brownies.
100%.
So
anytime I get sick,
yes,
Kneaders is my go-to. I'm just like, I need some chicken noodle soup, and Kneaders will deliver.
I had that last week. Exactly. Yes. I still eat Kneaders.
To this day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the first one. And, there was that whole moment.
But what do you go do? You just go approach them and say, hey, I want to do one of these?
Yes.
Or like.
Yeah. We knew them. And so it really was, the reason why I told Andrew was because while I had been a sounding board for him at home and I knew so much about business and knew a lot, I knew nothing. There was like this moment where I was like, I know nothing.
It's hard to. So Alex Dunn, who we were talking about before, he said something about entrepreneurship that's been about as true as anything that I've ever heard said. And he said, I'll get asked by these young entrepreneurs like, hey, how do you become an entrepreneur? And his answer was kind of what you just described. Like, the way to become an entrepreneur or learn about being an entrepreneur is to be an entrepreneur. Like, there's kind of one way to learn it, and it's jumping in and solving problems.
Yes.
Because you can't learn it in a book. Like,
no.
You can't, you and Andrew talking about it can't teach you those lessons. You kind of have to get in the arena.
You do. You just have to jump in. And also, if I knew everything that I know now, I would have overanalyzed and I would have been like, I'm not fit. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it. And I'm certainly not going to succeed. But because I didn't know anything.
Ignorance is amazing.
It was bliss. Yeah, it was great. So approached them, said, we want to open this restaurant. And there were a number of things like finding the land, building the building, getting the funds for it. And then being like, okay, how do I run this thing? So going through training and hiring a team. And I knew nothing about running a restaurant, truly. And I didn't know how little I knew until I was in it. But luckily, hired a good team around me and just jumped right in.
But what got you so motivated to do it? What got you like? We own a bunch of restaurants.
Yeah.
That is a hard business.
Oh, so hard.
And like, just to like raise your hand and say, I want this.
Yeah.
And then to jump in, like, what was like that inflection point of just saying, I'm ready and I'm going to go do this?
I think one of the things for me is I am not afraid of hard work. And there's this quote, it's a Thomas Edison quote where he once said, let's see, opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work. And for me, it was just work.
Yeah.
And it was what needed to get done. We went this far, we committed. Now I'm not going to
But you guys in
pull
life,
out.
like you and Andrew, you weren't in a situation where like you had to go do it
No.
to put food on the table.
No.
And I think sometimes necessity is like the greatest motivator. Like
Yes.
when your boats are burned and you have no plan B,
Yeah.
that's a really great starting point, you know. But that wasn't yours. Yours was kind of a pull motivation. It was something was calling to you.
It was.
To go jump in.
It was. It was.
Well, it's obvious.
I wanted to do it.
But it's obvious me looking at it 20 years later. I look at the jobs you guys have created. I look at the business you guys have built. Like there's obviously like a bigger purpose to whatever was calling to you. Like
something.
Yeah.
It was the universe calling, God, whoever.
I think so.
Something, someone.
Yeah, something was saying, hey, you need to go do this. But you were just feeling it.
I just felt it. Like I just knew. And there was no turning back. There wasn't even a moment where I was like, this is hard as hell.
You never question.
No. And it was. And when I say it's not for the faint of heart, I brought people with me as partners to say, I am not going to be able to do this alone because I know this is going to require some help. So I brought a couple other women along with me to say, let's do this together.
Yeah.
Within 3 months, they were all done.
They were out. Yeah.
And I was the lone person left standing to literally run the business. And so that's where I stayed in the business. I am one of those people. Once I commit, I am in.
You're all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was where it all started. And then.
But you kind of crushed it, didn't you? Like that first one did really well.
It did so well.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have. I mean, technically at the time in the end of 2008, kind of at the peak.
Kind of dark times.
Of the whole great financial crisis. That's where for years, the thing that stuck with me was interviews that we held filling those positions with individuals who had literally been let go from their jobs.
Yeah.
And were saying, I just need to put food on the table. And they'd been CFOs. They'd been in boardrooms, months before that, but they were like, I'll take anything.
How crazy was that time?
I couldn't tell that story for years without crying.
Yeah.
Because you see this desperation in people's eyes when you're across the table doing an interview with them. And that was why we became motivated to create jobs and to create opportunity. Because at a time when people just needed a job and just needed to put food on the table, we were able to do that. And it was just very interesting that, technically speaking, the world or our country was in a crisis. And yet this restaurant was thriving and it was busy every single day and every weekend. And so I think that was the catalyst for seeing this future opportunity as well.
And Andrew's stuff at that point wasn't going that good, right?
No, he was not having fun.
Yeah. Like if I remember, and I'm trying to like fully remember the story, but he'd had kind of runs where it was like ripping it.
Yeah.
And he was kind of winding things down at that point. And it was hard.
Very hard.
Yeah.
It was a technology that supported construction and builders.
Oh man, so you're
and all building and construction had been like it's just completely mothballed. So he was not having fun. It was hard. And but the business was still going. It was still happening. But for him, he was like, maybe this is the time to make a change. And I do remember him saying, I want to make this change, or I want to jump in and be part of this with you. And I was like, great, because my dishwasher called out and I really could use some help today.
Was he kind of like ask him permission? Like, hey, I know this is your thing. Like, can we like go do this? Like, was there any of that?
It was just more like, I think we should do this together.
Yeah. So it was never kind of like, hey, I don't want to overstep.
No.
Because he
had still been very supportive, and I needed his help to go have those conversations to get the to get the finances in line for building this business. So he was very supportive and helpful.
All of it. Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah.
So he was definitely supportive, and we were doing it together, but I was the one doing it.
A couple insights that were like, that resonated with me so much when I was talking to Andrew about his story and just listening to yours, especially on this time period. This people that are younger that didn't live through it don't know how intense 2007, 2008, 2009 were like it was so intense. I remember I was doing door-to-door sales. So I was like I'm doing a college job.
Yes.
And my ego or my pride was like, this work is so beneath me.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing this because I can and it's good money, but I'm graduating on to the more prestigious work.
Yep.
And that company that I was with, it goes bankrupt. Like so many, companies were going bankrupt.
Yes.
And I'm looking at those same people that you were interviewing to hire, all these white collar jobs, everybody that was making so much money, 2005, 2006.
Yes.
All of a sudden, like the world just went cold.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I had a skill set. I knew how to create revenue.
Yes.
And it was the first time where I realized, oh, wow, those real jobs, I have a real job. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time where I said, I need to double down on my strengths and I need to be professional. I need to be grateful. Mm-hmm. And it fully flipped kind of my paradigm on my career. It fundamentally changed my career.
Yes.
But I don't think I would have been able to embrace the profession that I chose without just some hard medicine.
Yeah.
And it was losing everything and seeing everybody else lose everything. And then getting calls from people saying, I'll give you $100,000 if you'll come work with us. And I'm like, everybody's getting laid off and I've got people wanting to give me a bonus to come work. Like, oh, wow, I actually have something that has value in this like really perilous market.
It's true. And that's what we realized in restaurants. No matter what was happening in the world, people still, they needed to eat and they wanted to feel normal in some way. And that was the normalcy.
But Andrew was kind of telling me that too. He said like he was in the restaurant kind of bussing tables and he'd have like people come in that, were in technology meetings or fundraising, Utah's a small town. Like, and they kind of look at him like, oh, things rough right now. Like, hey, you guys kind of like, hey,
he had a few of those.
Yeah. And I think it was like an ego check.
Humbling.
Yeah. It's an ego check for him as well. Like, he's like, like this is going really good, but like, I am bussing tables. Like I'm doing dishes. I am working the counter,
it's true. For the first couple of months, I remember there being some moments where he'd run into people and he'd have that. And then he was bit by the bug.
He
got it. Yeah. Yes. And he was just like, you know what? I love it.
It's so great.
And the funny thing is there was this moment with Andrew that this is where the visionary comes in. We're doing this for a couple months. He hasn't been there very long. And he's like, you know what? We need to do 10 of these. And I'm like, stop it. I'm having a good time. Let me have my one restaurant. And we're just going to do this.
But he just can't help himself. It's like if one works, 10 is better, 100's better.
So sure enough, we start signing leases and we start doing this thing where we are scaling this business. And what we learn is that it's just not possible to work in the business and on the business. And that's how we started the whole background, which is now Savory, which is the team that supports the business. That is the HR, the payroll, the finance, the insurance, the creative and the marketing, all of that.
It has to be different.
And then there's the operators that are inside the four walls of the restaurant. And so that was the catalyst. So again, to necessity being the mother of invention.
Yeah.
Really, I would say all along the way, whether it was that first restaurant, then it was scaling that next 50 restaurants.
Yeah.
And then it was buying more brands and investing into non-franchise brands and then becoming our own private equity fund. All of it was a catalyst that was driven by necessity.
So talk to me about kind of some of those steps in the journey and then also lessons learned. So you guys literally went out and built 50
Yes.
Kneaders,
50.
but you didn't own the parent.
Right.
And ultimately that ended up being kind of a hindrance.
Yeah.
And you being able to continue to grow because you kind of needed to own the parent to be able to continue to pour the resources that you were pouring in.
Well, we realized we're making this enormous investment. What is the outcome? I mean, if we wanted to do this for the next 100 years, it works. But we knew that we needed to buy, build, and sell in order to keep going.
Yep.
And there was no selling.
Yeah.
And so that was where we realized,
and
you
didn't control that decision. That was outside of your, that was outside of your governance.
Absolutely. So we realized, okay, now we know the mistake that we made there.
Was that hard to kind of say, man, I've got so much emotionally invested in this brand and that I ultimately have to go restart with what I know for us to continue going.
Yes. I think it was hard. And yet I think we also knew in order for us to keep going, we would have to do that. And again and again.
Yep.
So it was what is best for the business, the people, and to be able to keep this business going.
So ultimately you end up selling it back to the owners?
We sell it back to, the original founders of Kneaders, sell that back to them. At the time, we also had 82 or 83 Little Caesars that we were operating, which was a lot of fun. It was down south that we owned all of those.
Yeah.
So we decided, though, it would be best to sell off the franchise portion of the business and really focus on corporate owned.
Yeah.
And so that is
what great experience to have a franchise like Little Caesars.
Yeah.
It's massive.
Yes.
And to go get the learnings from that experience.
Yeah.
And then also to have a Kneaders that you kind of were the business. Like
it was where we cut our teeth.
You were the franchisee, but you were like kind of most of the stores, right?
Yes. Yeah. 50 of the 55 or 54 or something
you
like
ultimately
that.
end up like, you're not really being taught anything because you're the one doing it.
Yeah.
And so
we loved and still love the Kneaders brand.
Yeah.
And it's where we learned. I mean, it was the beginning of our story, and I still have such fond memories.
So you go get all the education from
the teachings, learnings from
opening
that.
50 locations, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what not to do, what leases not to sign.
Oh, yes. So many good learnings there.
And then also the Little Caesars, different geography.
Yeah.
Probably better training, better support.
Really good franchisors.
Yeah.
We learned what it looks like to be a really strong franchisor and good support. And what
has that been helpful for you as you were like,
yes.
we're going to go build out the platform?
Still today, it has been very helpful just to have seen it, because again, to that point, it's nice to be able to see what good looks like.
Yep.
And so that was great to see Little Caesars, and they were good partners as well. So at that point, we're introduced to Nicole Tanner at Swig. We're introduced to Kimon Kalani at Mo Bettahs. We're introduced to R&R. And so we started investing in those brands and growing and scaling those brands and working with those founders.
You bought control, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was kind of an important learning.
That was a learning that we wanted to.
We're not going to go pour our heart and soul into it unless we can actually like take it the distance.
We've never had to be heavy-handed.
Yeah.
But we knew that we needed to be able to be majority owners from the beginning. And so the investment was to buy 51% of any brand.
You want great alignment. You want everybody to win, but you need to be able to sell the business, hire, fire, like ultimately like whatever it takes to
make the decisions.
And the reason is because you're investing real capital. And so like you need to actually have controls on, your money and investors' money. Like it's a combo of both.
And it's not, and what's funny is none of our founders have ever even been concerned.
Yeah.
They agree to it. They
a
want
lot
to do
of that's reputation too, though. You guys
Yeah.
have like a really phenomenal reputation of being great partners.
Oh, thank you.
And
I hope
I think
so.
ultimately like they would be concerned if you had screwed that up previous.
Yes. Oh, they do all. like when we're bringing on new brands, they talk to the other founders.
Of course.
And it would definitely hurt us if
Yeah,
that wasn't the case.
Yeah, you'd think that they're stupid if they didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's
go find out. Do your diligence for sure.
You're getting married, so
Yes. Yeah.
So you go do, and obviously like Mo Bettahs was a phenomenal outcome. Looking back, you look super smart on that one.
I know. I love those founders.
Yeah.
Those two guys, they were bus drivers in Hawaii, came over to Utah and just said, you know what, we're gonna serve food that we used to eat
That we love
in our backyard. And that's what it's called, plate lunch.
Which I
Hawaii.
have like so much nostalgia on Mo Bettahs, or Mo Bettahs. My high school, kind of my coach since I was 5 years old, but ultimately ended up being my high school coach, was a Samoan guy named Dave Caressa.
Oh, really?
And so that culture of food and, pork and like all of like that, all of that soul food. Yeah, it's it's so ingrained.
Yeah.
And you go there and it's those foods, it's those staples, and they're so good.
Yeah. I could listen to those founders talk. Well, all of our founders, but those two have some great stories just of growing up and how they wanted to just share that with
everybody. Yeah. And you can feel that in that brand. And I think that's one of the fun things. And honestly, something that I really admire about you guys is when you buy a brand, that brand has soul. Like that it has a founder that has soul in that business. Like you can see that founder in that business, whether it's R&R, whether it's Swig, whether
all
it's
of them.
All of them.
We want the founders to stay the center of it because they are the magic.
They are the magic
of that brand, of that story. They're the best storytellers of all of it. And they know
so much
what
of these
the original vision.
So much of these concepts are the story. Like I think about the great brands that I love. There's this, and I'm sure you know this brand, but the chicken salad chick story.
Yes.
And it's just this like,
it's a Southern.
How do you not love
brand.
that company?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so much of it is like her creating this, to survive.
Yes.
And saying, I've got one skill and I make wicked chicken salad.
Yeah.
And then you go build like a really sweet business on that one skill. It's like, how do you not support that? How do you not love that?
Exactly. I know. You love it.
Yeah.
And of course, if there's a great product, even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where, and really that was the moment in time where I think Andrew shared probably his conversation with Greg Warnock, who was just, I would say he's the Gandalf of private equity in Utah.
He's old school. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he's been doing it for a long, long, long time.
And he was like, why don't you guys just do your own fund and fund it that way? Because at that point we were still borrowing from banks.
Bootstrapping it.
Yes. And just private investors. So it was the right time to make that shift and really legitimize the overall practice.
Yeah.
So we made that jump, and that was the burning the ships moment where it was like, no looking back, burn the ships.
We're doing this.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's the journey we've been on ever since.
You went and did that. I think I'm in a couple of your funds. I think I'm in 1 and 2. Are you doing 3 now? Is that?
He's in the Andrew. We're closing fund 3 end of June.
And 1 and 2, you did the first one with Andrew or the second one?
All of them.
No, sorry, not Andrew.
Greg.
1
and 2.
Okay, so 1 and 2 was with Greg.
Yes.
3 was kind of saying, we're going to go do this on our own.
Yeah. Savory was growing up.
Yeah, talk to me about kind of the progression of that. Was it just kind of getting to the point saying, yeah, we're going to go do the fun things. We're going to go raise the capital. And we're going to go do the reporting. And this is kind of the next phase of what we need to go do.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is in every business, you start to look at your succession plan. And we're already looking at the succession plan now for who is the next leader for Savory and who will that be? And there were those conversations of what is that plan? And so funds 1 and 2, Greg was very much so. By the way, Greg has been such a good partner and love. I have learned so much from Greg.
He's
an oracle.
He's a stone cold killer. Like he's done it for so long.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's taught us so much. And there was this moment where it was like, what's the succession plan? And the succession plan was to start doing this independently and then hand it off to the next team as well. So that was kind of that conversation and the catalyst for making that plan and that transition.
What was the financial size of the first 2 funds?
Both 100 million.
Okay, so is that kind of the sweet spot of like, this is enough equity to go deploy and get some great brands?
It was. And that's a good, 100 million is good for 5 to 6 brands. But what we were realizing is with inflation, with certain sizes, with what I would say we're only investing in unicorn status now, the checks are a little larger. And so at this point, Fund 3 is now 150 is our goal, but I think we'll probably get up closer to the 200 mark.
So that's kind of where you want to end.
So that's the new.
For those same reasons. One, like $1 today isn't worth
it's not the same.
Was 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And then the second one is like, you kind of know what type of companies you're going to go buy.
Yes, exactly.
And you're only going to go buy the best companies. And so part of that, just prices are different.
It is. Yeah. And we don't invest in turnarounds. We're not doing that. We're investing in brands that are doing amazing, working well, have a great team. And who are ready for growth. They just maybe don't know how. And that's where we come in. We're really good at the scaling. We know how to do that.
You guys are. You guys really are phenomenal at it. You've just done it so many times with so many brands at this point.
Well, and there's still mistakes that we make. There's still learnings all along the way.
So that was where I was going to go, is like, where have you screwed it up? Like when you go back and you say like, this was just me being naive, or this was me being prideful, like went too fast, or this is me. Like what are the ones you could call out and say, this was a painful learning lesson?
Let's see. Well, a couple that I can think of. I remember like 2015-ish, 16 even. Boy, we were doing great. And I don't think that we realized things, it's not always going to be like this.
It just felt like.
In the good and in the bad. We were living high on the hog. Things were going great. And I don't think we realized it's not always going to be like
how
this.
Good it actually was.
It was really good. And it can go the opposite very quickly. And so that was a good learning for us. Like no matter what, we cannot ever get too cocky. We always have to remain humble, because if we don't do it for ourselves, the universe will humble us.
The market will humble you.
Oh, yes. So that was a learning. And then, one of the learnings, so I have a no a-hole policy. And the reason for that is because you go into business enough with a-holes and you realize how hard it is, how inefficient it is, just how miserable it can be.
And you've had some of those partners that are just, they're so talented, but they just leave a pile of destruction in their wake.
You see in the beginning, like, oh, it's great. And you hear all the reasons why it's not a good idea to take money from them or to partner with them or any of that. And then you learn why later. And so I think we're just more discerning about who.
More disciplined. Both who you take capital from, and then secondly, who you purchase or work with.
Yes. On all accounts. Because there's founders. I mean, it's one of the most important decisions we make, who we go into business with, who we invest in. And so that's where sometimes there are founders where the brand is amazing. But the founder is not. And we walk away because it will be exponentially harder to do business because of that one person.
What's the best deal you've ever done?
The best deal. Oh, Swig. Best deal.
And still going.
Still going.
Yeah.
And I would say not just the best deal, but such a great story. And I am always a big fan of my ladies. And to know that was founded by a woman, that we are like 90% women employed in that brand. And just the whole story about how we support breast cancer awareness, and we're stroking checks to women who are suffering with breast cancer and the effects of it. I love those stories. It's so heartwarming. And yet it's still one of my favorite products. I still have a Swig in my hand almost every day.
I'm like, anytime I'm driving by, I'm picking one up.
I know. Yes. So it's just
DoorDash.
I love it. Yeah. I remember rolling out DoorDash. Third party. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Swig's best deal you ever did.
Swig. Yeah.
Where do you go from here? So
Ooh.
when I was with Andrew, he didn't tell me on air, he told me off air that you had gone from the role that you'd kind of done your whole career, being a CEO and then kind of being mostly almost full-time operator,
Yeah.
to transition into a partner role where you're working on the fund side, working on the investing side.
Yes.
Talk to me about that transition.
Yeah. Well, last year, my word of the year was elevate. And I choose a word of the year instead of like a bunch of goals. And
Yeah.
I started thinking about what does elevate look like for me personally, for the team, for the work. And we're pretty self-aware at Savory. And I felt like I would be remiss if I didn't think about what does elevate look like for this role.
Yeah.
And I thought about, okay, I think it's time to consider bringing in a fresh set of eyes. I was in that role for 8 years.
Yeah.
And loved it. But also, I recognize when it's time for fresh eyes and someone who can come in and challenge the status quo and bring new ideas and challenge the team. And so I had someone in mind who was gainfully employed at the time. And I'll cut to the chase. Within a couple months of just these thoughts, I had not even shared it openly with anyone, but just thinking about if I could go hire anyone, it's this person. He actually called us and said, just looking at my future opportunities, thinking I'll make a change probably in the coming year. Wanted to see if Savory
remind me his name.
His name is Clay Dover.
Yeah, and he was Raising Canes.
Yep, Raising Canes, Velvet Taco. And just had a great reputation out in our industry specifically. So that's who I wanted. But I just thought that is a long shot. He's gainfully employed.
Yeah.
Long story short, he agreed to come and take the role. And
so easy transition for you?
Yeah.
Was that kind of like was it a really natural transition for you as well? Just this kind of time and season in life?
There were so many people who were like, I'm so worried. This is going to be so hard for you. And I was like, okay, I better gird my loins for this transition.
Better prepare. Yeah.
It was so natural. And the only thing that was like I wanted to take it slow was because it's a lot to understand and grasp.
Institutional knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just make sure I was slowly, giving Clay a little bit at a time. And I think we're 8 or 9 weeks in and he's already like, I'm ready. Hand it off. We're good.
It's going great.
It is going great. And I don't have anything that I'm like, oh, this is mine. I want to keep this. It's like, you take it and run.
I think that's rare. Like, I think a lot of times when you build something, and just listening to your story, there's a lot of times where you could have done that. I think if you were like less secure, you probably would be clinging on to different things harder along the way. And it feels like you've had, and again, we don't know each other too well, but it feels like you kind of have this gift of abundance where you have the ability to allow other people to come in and share their gifts and be a part of it. And it doesn't have to be the Shauna show, which is actually like super admirable.
Thank you. I try. I mean, I love that word abundance. I've always tried to have that mentality of abundance, but I'm also, I am very much so that person who is comfortable behind the scenes, behind the curtain. I don't need the limelight.
You're not like calling for it.
No, which is also why Andrew and I have made a good team because I'm good to let him go be the face.
He's supernatural in that.
Yes.
In the light. Like he's dynamic.
He's
and
so good.
He shines.
Yeah. He's so good. The life of the party, like I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been good overall. But yes, it's been a great transition. And now what will happen is I'll be more focused on he'll be more focused on scaling the business, Clay, and I'll be more focused on the sell side of the business or the sell and the buy side or the fundraising side of things.
Very cool.
More, on that side of the house.
But way different skills. Yeah, way different skills.
I've got a lot to learn.
Well, and so this is another thing that I admire about you so much, and Chelsea's in the same boat. You're going back to school. You're finishing your degree. I'm a
student. Yeah. Yes. Finishing my degree.
Yeah. Talk to me about that motivation. Like what, you know, I think there's like, you don't need to go finish your degree. Like you've accomplished so much, you don't need a job.
No. Like, no, you're right. I'm not going to school for a job.
What's the motivation?
Well, that moment that I shared that the doctor came in and said, on account of you being pregnant,
Yeah.
we won't be doing the surgery. I wasn't expecting that. I was a student at the time.
You wanted to finish.
And I stopped school. And it has been just this lingering, just in the back of my mind all of these years.
Yeah.
I tried to go back with a 1-year-old and an entrepreneur husband. Very difficult. So I basically said, probably a year and a half ago, I am just going to register and start taking a couple classes a semester. And I've been in school now for 6 semesters, and I am just taking a couple classes a semester, and it's been so good
Do you
for
love
me.
it?
I love it.
You love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to juggle the work side of things, family, and then school in the middle of that. But yeah, I've loved it. It's been really great. And to also just, turn that side of my brain on again.
Yeah. Talk to me about philanthropy. Like this has always been something when you guys were at Kneaders, you were just describing kind of that, philanthropic side with Swig. Kind of it's a piece of all of your restaurants. But even like you're on the board at UVU.
Yes.
Like talk to me about that, why that matters to you and why that matters to Andrew and just how that fits.
Yeah. Philanthropy for me is just giving back in multiple ways. And there's so many ways we give back, whether it's financially, with our time, and there's other ways that we are always giving back. And I think about the lessons I learned from my Southern granny. She taught me to leave things better than they were, better than I found them.
Yeah.
And so it really is about like, this world is taking care of me. I need to leave it better than I found it. What can I do to help the next person along the way, to help the next mission, whatever it is, to help UVU. I want to help. Andrew wants to help. I think that's just in us. We just want to help. So philanthropy for me has always been important.
Yeah.
And I also think about entrepreneurship. And I think there's moments where we give our dollars and it's kind of we give it and we kind of forget about it. With entrepreneurship, you are literally creating jobs.
Yeah.
And you're creating opportunity for people, and you're feeding those families, not for a day, not for a week, but for years to come, because you're giving them that opportunity. So I feel like entrepreneurs, they're the ultimate philanthropists.
Yep.
So that's
so cool. Super proud to call you guys friends. Oh, there's kind of one theme that I asked Andrew this, and he had referenced you kind of lead on this front, but talk to me about faith. Talk to me about faith in the Smith family and kind of how that's fit along the way from Alabama to Utah to today.
Well, I grew up in a place where you could openly talk about Jesus.
Yeah.
And so it's always kind of been part of who I am, that faith is just
natural.
Yeah, it's really natural to me. And I'm an active card-carrying member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I made a decision a long time ago to endure to the end. And I think that just for me, it goes back to once I've made a decision, I stick to it.
Yeah.
And when I commit, I commit. And so there's no going back. For me, it's just this is part of who we are.
Yeah.
And also when I say part of who we are, I'm a big Jesus fan.
Yeah.
So it's just about being a good Christian. And we're not perfect. And we make a lot of mistakes along the way. But it's about being kind to others, loving others, forgiving, and just trying to share the love as much as we can. So when I think of faith, it is just about like, it's my commitment. I will always be this person. I'm not going to change.
Yeah.
But also I'm always going to do my best to love as many people as I can.
I love chatting with you, and I love chatting with your man. And it's so fun to kind of connect both stories and put them together.
Thank you.
Because you guys really have created, something super special, so many jobs, so many opportunities. And it's just like a really beautiful business that you guys are in. Like being able to take a concept and turn it into 100 concepts and take that magic that someone put their heart and their soul into and bring that to a lot of people. Is just a fun business to be in. When you're talking about philanthropy, entrepreneurship being the ultimate philanthropy,
Yeah.
it truly is. You're creating jobs, you're creating experience, you're creating opportunities, and all of us have had good bosses and bad bosses.
Yeah.
And like the difference is a lot of people's lives.
Yes.
And so just having that commitment to go create great, inspiring work environments where people can thrive and dream and grow, and founders can thrive and dream and grow. I think that's a lot of the magic of, what you get to go be a part of. And I've loved being an LP of you guys. Talk to me a little bit about somebody that wants to invest, somebody that doesn't have exposure to food and beverage. Like, what is that process?
Oh, well, I mean, the process is just call us.
But that's not like, you're not institutional capital that,
No.
like, what's the minimum check? If somebody said, I want to do this.
I mean, we've said 250 is the minimum, but I know we've taken 100.
But got to be accredited.
Got to be accredited.
Somebody's got to be accredited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is, if this is your first investment, maybe this is not if you're not accredited and this is your first, we'd love to talk to you about some opportunities that maybe your first investment would be. But this is for those investors who, I would say, investors they like tech, or they like medical, or they like something very specific. But this is an opportunity to take a chance on something a little different.
Yeah.
But also, these restaurants are necessary. When you think about the future of restaurants, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And this industry has been up and to the right for the last 50 years.
So for me, what I love about it is we do a lot of real estate, and we do a lot of tech, and we do a lot of all these different things. And so it's a form of diversification outside of those things.
Absolutely. That's what I would say, diversification.
The second piece of it, specifically with you guys, you've just done it for so long, and you've done it as an operator, like personally building the restaurants. You've done it successfully in, a lot of different concepts, both building them and exiting those concepts.
Yes.
All of those things are insanely hard. One, it's
all of it.
really hard just to run a business that makes money, period. To do 50 of them is really hard. To sell that business is really hard.
Yes.
And they're all different skill sets.
Yeah.
And so I think, for me, why it's super easy to go support you guys outside of, you're awesome people and I want to support you, is I think you're really exceptional. And so I think, anybody who's looking to, go be a part of that journey, that's something that, I've done for a bunch of years and, had a good experience.
Yes. Well, thank you for being an investor, not only in our fund, but in so many funds. You've supported Utah.
Yeah, we love Utah.
So well. Yes. Yep. So thank you for being that for all of us.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
so
you.
Fun.
Thanks for having me.
This podcast is brought to you by Sandlot Partners.